Well, good afternoon and welcome back. Earlier, civil rights organization Afriforum detailed their line of action following the allegations that 20-year-old model Gabriella Engels was assaulted by Zimbabwe's First Lady Grace Mugabe. Our reporter Patricia Fisahi is standing by and she is going to give us an update on that. Over to you, Patricia.
Thank you so much, Colin. Of course, we saw that high-profile press briefing that just concluded here at Afriforum's headquarters in Centurion, well attended by the media. Of course, we saw a media frenzy here from local media to international media who clearly, giving us a reflection that there is a high interest in this matter, not just locally, but beyond South African shores. Now, we have heard the panel that spoke here, including the victim's mother, and that is Debbie Engels, who obviously expressed gratitude that Afriforum has extended a hand of help to ensure that justice is prevailed in this matter. But now I'm joined by Advocate Gerrie Nel, who we know has since left the NPA and has joined Afriforum here at, of course, their headquarters. And he is, of course, the man at the helm of this case that Afriforum will be taking on. So he'll take us through what exactly the importance is right now. Advocate Gerrie Nel, thank you so much for joining us. Many of us, of course, know you from the Oscar Pistorius case. That's when a lot of people, got to know who you are. Some even called you the pitbull in legal circles. But now, again, attention falls on you. This time around, on another matter, it is another model, young woman, maybe not attacked by a man this time, by a woman. And as you have said earlier, it doesn't matter whether it is a man or a woman. At the end of the day, violence should not be tolerated, and perpetrators of violence should be treated with the firm hand of the law. Just take us through your opinion in terms of the accusations that are leveled against Zimbabwe's first woman, Grace Mugabe.
Let me start off by saying that I've seen in the media that the police are dealing with this matter. The Minister of Police said they're dealing with the matter, and I really hope so. I hope that the police will investigate this matter, will act swiftly, the matter will be handed over to the National Prosecuting Authority and they'll prosecute. But if they don't, we will certainly monitor the process. We'll monitor the process through the police, we'll monitor the process through the National Prosecuting Authority, and if they fail to prosecute, certainly, I've consulted with the victim in this matter, certainly we will institute a prior prosecution. That's one of the matters we want to. I think what's also very important is that what we really want to say is that nobody is above the law. Everybody is equal before the law. If you're sheltered by political connections, that will not help you. It might help you as far as the state is concerned, but we will, from a private citizen's point of view, we will prosecute. So you've said how serious this was. We've had a quick consultation with the victim in this matter, and it was serious. I think it's a matter that should go to court. During a press briefing, lots of people said lots of things. Even at the stage said things about the victim. I just think it's a bit unfair now to create a case about the victim. We should really focus on the facts of the matter and let the facts be decided upon by the courts. So that's all we're about. We just want to make sure that everybody is equal before the law, and that somebody, because of political connections, especially international political connections, cannot escape the South African law.
Now we're speaking about everybody being equal before the law. And I asked you this earlier, that perhaps a normal citizen or the layman on the street, if they had committed the same type of crime 6 days later, they perhaps would be behind bars now. She's not behind bars. Is that not maybe already an indication that she is getting special treatment to a large extent here?
I have to be reasonable, and I have to say that the fact to arrest or not is a complicated issue. If the investigating officer feels that the suspect will not escape, that the suspect is available, and they just want to see if there's a question of diplomatic immunity, then certainly one can understand that the suspect is not behind bars as we speak. But that cannot go on indefinitely. The police will have to act, and the police will have to act swiftly, and we will certainly monitor the process in ensuring that the police will not drag their feet and that the suspect in this particular matter will not escape justice by leaving the country. I think that's very important to deal with these issues whilst the suspect is still in the country. I think that is important, however long it takes.
Fair and well, but the big question here is around diplomatic immunity. What are your feelings around that? We heard earlier Kali Kriel saying that they hope that she will not be given that. They want her to face the law here in South Africa.
We've already drafted the letter and sent the letter off to the minister dealing with this particular question, explaining the facts, explaining our understanding of the law. In terms of our understanding of the law, she cannot claim diplomatic immunity. But then again, we don't have all the facts. But certainly, we've made it pertinently clear that we're willing to do whatever we can to ensure that if there's diplomatic immunity granted, that it's real. And if it's not real, we will certainly review any decision by the minister in this regard. So I think it's a three-pronged approach. Firstly, we've ensured that the victim gets trauma counselling. I could just think, it happened on Sunday. Then there was the secondary trauma of all the media attention, the family, and the victim really going through a terrible time. So we've sent out our trauma people to start with trauma counselling. The second aspect is to monitor the prosecution and the police investigation. And thirdly, to ensure that we also monitor the process of diplomatic immunity or not. Our view is, and it wasn't a letter, and we said the letter is available for the media, to set out how we understand diplomatic immunity, and that we don't think she qualifies for diplomatic immunity.
Now, you're a well-seasoned advocate. I think you enjoy a lot of respect in wide circles in South Africa. As I said earlier, you've worked for the NPA for 36 years. In your personal opinion, do you think, or rather, do you have confidence in the South African authorities to really handle this matter as fairly as possible?
I think the mere fact that we're here today, the mere fact that the media showed how interested they are in following the South African law and the way we apply the law, I have to say that, yes, I have. But if there's any failure of justice, then certainly we'll step in. But I'm convinced. I've seen the Minister of Police on TV saying that they're on top of the case, that the suspect is definitely still in the country, and we have to believe it. And seeing that the importance of this matter and the media attention and our attention in this matter, I'm hopeful that the police and the NPA will really take this matter seriously.
Now, you've given the police and the NPA, I think, a timeline of 3 months to see this matter in court. As you said earlier, more or less in 3 months' time, you would like to see this matter before the courts. Now, isn't that too long of a time?
You see, one will have to understand that I'm not saying that they will only have to act against the suspect in 3 months' time. I'm saying the process of investigating, gathering all the statements and so on, I think a reasonable time is 3 months. But to deal with the suspect, definitely not. I cannot think that a further 2 days, 3 days will be sufficient, will be reasonable. I think we should, by the end of the week, have dealt with this matter. And decide to either prosecute or not prosecute, or arrest or not arrest the suspect in this particular matter. So there's two things. One is the trial, and one is dealing with the suspect to get the suspect before court.
If South Africa wakes up on Monday and she's still not arrested, what will Afriforum then do?
Well, it's difficult to tell you exactly what we're doing, but we will then get involved. We will, by tomorrow, get involved in discussions with the police, because we've now had consultation with the family. They've shared certain things with us that we obliged to share with the South African Police Service. The other witnesses, we would also like to really cooperate. For us, it's the only thing that's important for us is to ensure that justice is done, that we don't create the perception that some people are beyond the law, that we're all equal before the law, also in this particular matter, that there's equality before the law. So we will certainly assist the authorities as far as we can, but whilst we're assisting them, we will be monitoring that things happen.
Okay. Is there any room for Afriforum perhaps to go to court, to put pressure on government, to force the hand of government to act if they don't?
There's definitely room to do that. It's perhaps a bit premature now. As you said, I've been a prosecutor for long. I know how police investigations happen, and I would like us to be reasonable. But if we've given them reasonable opportunity to deal with this matter, then certainly, and they haven't, then we will get involved.
All right, thank you so much. I think we'll leave it at that. That, of course, is Advocate Gerrie Nel, who's now part of the Afriforum family, and they are here to, of course, support the victim, Gabriella Engels, who is allegedly assaulted by Zimbabwe's First Lady, Grace Mugabe. Of course, as Advocate Gerrie Nel has just emphasized, that they're giving the South African authorities until at least end of this week to act, and that means perhaps arresting her. If not, then we will have to monitor the situation very closely to see what type of action will unfold next. Of course, I think the focus would then be on the fact that they've already indicated that if the NPA does not take up this case, then they're standing ready to take up private prosecution to make sure that justice is prevailed, and to make sure that the First Lady of Zimbabwe, Grace Mugabe, does not get off scot-free. It does not leave South African shores without facing the full might of the law. Colin, for now, I think it's back to you in the studio.
Well, Patricia, just before you go, this topic has really been a buzz on social media with some of our viewers asking questions about, Afriforum taking up this case. I've been receiving questions from the social media about why is Afriforum not attending to the Manana assault case, as they put it. And then the second question that I'd like you to put to the advocate there, if you may please, is the issue of when he was talking about not divulging all information from the family regarding the future and the career of the third model. It's about the issue of compensation. Even if they're going to court and justice has to be meted out, what happens to her career? Are they going to consider out-of-court settlement, or are they going to consider compensation, because her modeling career could be destroyed utterly because of the bruises that she has on her head and on her face? Just those two questions to the advocate, please.
Well, let's turn back to the advocate. Fortunately, there are questions that are coming from the studio. Now, recently, South Africa was shocked. We saw the case of the Deputy Minister of Education who had assaulted a woman. Now, everybody is saying, well, Afriforum is coming out so confidently to stand up against violence against women, to obviously give support to the victim. But Afriforum was nowhere to be seen when another victim was assaulted by a minister. Cried foul.
Certainly, we thought that was very serious, but there, the police took action. The minister appeared in court and the matter is running. So we're just concerned here in this particular instance that nothing happened, and then we were confronted by a very senior policeman not knowing if the victim was in the country or not. We were confronted with the Minister of Police saying somebody agreed to hand herself over, and then it didn't happen. And then we realized that perhaps this is a matter where we have to get involved, because certainly in the Manana matter, the police acted, the Deputy Minister appeared in court, and the matter is running. That's all we're really asking in this particular matter as well, is for the matter to run, and then we'll monitor the matter.
Now, some criticism on social media as we speak right now, that maybe Afriforum is trying to gain political mileage out of this.
You know, people can say that. So if you ask the victim's mother said, "Thank you, there's somebody supporting us." I've said when we started with this media conference that I'm not somebody for media conferences. I've not criticized the police saying that they're not doing something. I've all along said that I hope they do what they have to do. So we cannot get any mileage out of this, except to say that if they don't, then certainly we will get involved. You know, for us to say that we we've listened to what the Minister of Police have said. We agree with the Minister. We trust the Minister of Police that she's still in the country. Is just a support for the victim. The victims were here. They visited us. They said that they feel that they're dealing with this alone, and they would like us to get involved. So they certainly know. When we launched the Office for Private Prosecution, we said that the only aspect that we're dealing with is equality before the law. There's no better matter than equality before the law than this particular matter.
The other question is that we know now that the victim is a model by profession. Obviously, being a model, it means your physical appearance is everything. That's how you make your money. So they're asking, how will she continue to gain financially? Will Afriforum in any way perhaps help her with financial compensation? Now, we heard earlier, of course, they turned down the offer that was made from the anonymous caller, who we still don't know who that was. But will you get involved in any manner financially to assist the family?
No. From where I'm sitting, I'm in charge of an Office for Private Prosecution. For us, it's about equality before the law, and that's what we're dealing with. We haven't been asked by the victim to compensate them. We haven't been asked any questions in that regard by the victims. For us, it's about equality before the law, and that's what we're dealing with right now. So, no, that's where we got involved. I think the one aspect that people criticizing us might lose sight of is the trauma that the families are going through. I've been involved in quite a few matters where women were the victims, and I have an understanding for the trauma that victims and families are going through. And I think apart from the two aspects of private prosecution and the diplomatic immunity, the assistance in trauma counseling in this particular matter, and also realizing the trauma surrounding this whole matter is very important, and that we've done without telling anyone.
Now, this is perhaps the third high-profile case that I know of where you're standing firm behind a female victim. The Chanel Henning murder case, the Arriva Steenkamp matter involving Oscar Pistorius. Now, this one, can we perhaps say, moving forward, we will see Afriforum and yourself, in whichever capacity it might be, that you will avail your services, maybe to help more victims of a crime, especially women. We know violence against women in South Africa is a huge concern.
Definitely. As far as victims of crime is concerned, if they don't get justice, we're there for justice, particularly women and children. We definitely, that's a focus for us. The focus when we created the unit was really those people that are sheltered against prosecution because of their political connections, their own or people they know. So that is still a focus. Those are the matters that we feel that there's a perception that there's selective prosecution as far as that is concerned. But there's invitation to any woman that feels that they did not get justice or that's somehow not able to deal with it, to contact us. Yes, I have in my career, I've dealt with quite a few victims that were female and also with the family, and that's something that I can do and would like to do.
All right. Thank you so much, Advocate Gerrie Nel. There you have the esteemed Advocate Gerrie Nel, again, reaching out to women in South Africa, saying, if you're a woman and you have been victimized in any way, then he is the man to go to help you get justice for whatever your case is. Colin, I think right now we really have to give back to you in studio.